When most people hear the phrase card counting, they picture a movie scene, a lone genius at a blackjack table, casually stacking chips while a pit boss watches nervously from across the room. It feels secret, powerful, and almost magical. But the real story of card counting is far less glamorous and far more educational. Card counting isn't about memorizing every card or predicting the future. It's about understanding probability, discipline, and the limits of what skill can actually do inside a casino. To understand card counting the right way, you have to start with what blackjack really is. Unlike most casino games, blackjack is played with a finite deck. Cards are dealt, removed, and reshuffled. That simple fact creates fluctuations in probability. Card counting exists because blackjack is one of the only games where past events slightly influence future odds. Not enough to guarantee wins, but enough to matter in the long run. Early blackjack players noticed something interesting long before computers existed. When decks were rich in certain cards, the game felt different. Blackjacks appeared more often. Dealer busts happened more frequently. The house edge didn't disappear, but it bent slightly. Card counting was born not from cheating, but from observation. In the 1950s and 60s, mathematicians began formalizing these ideas. Books like Beat the Dealer didn't invent card counting, they explained it. For the first time, players could see the math behind blackjack laid out clearly. Casinos were shocked, not because the math was wrong, but because players were finally reading it.
One of the biggest misconceptions about card counting is that it predicts individual hands. It doesn't. Card counting doesn't tell you what card is coming next. It tells you whether the remaining deck is slightly more favorable or slightly less favorable to the player. That's it. The edge gained is small, often measured in single percentage points, and only matters over thousands of hands. This is where most people get it wrong. They try to count cards casually, without bankroll discipline, without emotional control, and without understanding variance. The result is frustration. Card counting doesn't eliminate losing streaks. In fact, counters often experience worse short-term swings because they bet more aggressively when the odds improve. Playing the right way means understanding that card counting is a long-term strategy, not a shortcut. It requires patience, consistency, and the ability to lose without panicking. Most players don't fail because they can't count. They fail because they can't handle variance. Another critical point is that card counting doesn't work equally in all games. Casinos adapted quickly. Multiple decks, continuous shuffling machines, and frequent reshuffles all reduce the effectiveness of counting. The modern casino floor is not designed to reward skilled play. It's designed to neutralize it. That's why card counting today is less about beating the house and more about game selection. Skilled players look for conditions where the math still breathes: deeper penetration, favorable rules, slower dealing. Without these, counting becomes more academic than practical. Casinos, for their part, have an interesting relationship with card counting. It's not illegal, it's not cheating, but it's also not welcome. Casinos reserve the right to refuse service, and counters who draw attention often find themselves politely, and sometimes not so politely, asked to leave. This creates a strange paradox. Card counting is allowed but discouraged, legal but punished. Casinos don't argue with the math, they manage the risk. Surveillance teams watch betting patterns, not brains. They don't care what you know, they care how you bet. This leads to another myth, that card counters must hide intelligence. In reality, card counters hide behavior. Sudden bet changes, emotional reactions, and inconsistent play draw attention faster than mental math ever will. The real skill isn't counting cards, it's blending in.
Quick reminder, if you want more content like this that explains why games work the way they do, hit subscribe so you don't miss future videos. You're gonna want to stick around too. The next tip is something most players never think about, and once you see it, you'll never look at the game the same way again.
Even then, card counting is not a path to easy money. It's closer to grinding than gambling. Profits are slow. Losses can be brutal. Many professional counters work in teams, not because it's flashy, but because it spreads risk and stabilizes results. And here's a truth most movies ignore. Many skilled counters quit, not because it doesn't work, but because it's exhausting. Constant focus, constant discipline, constant pressure. It turns a game into a job, and not a particularly fun one. For casual players, the value of learning about card counting isn't in trying to do it, it's in understanding blackjack better. When you learn why certain cards matter, you start making smarter basic decisions. You stop chasing hunches. You stop blaming luck for everything. Card counting teaches a deeper lesson. Casinos don't fear skill, they manage it. The house edge exists not because players are dumb, but because the system is resilient. Any edge gained by knowledge is fragile and hard-earned. Playing card counting the right way also means knowing when not to use it. Many players are better served by mastering basic strategy, choosing good tables, and managing bankroll wisely. Those skills offer far more value to most players than counting ever will. At its core, card counting is a reminder that gambling isn't about tricks, it's about structure. When players understand how games are built, they make better decisions, even when the odds are against them. The real takeaway isn't that card counting beats blackjack, it's that knowledge changes perspective. Once you see how thin the edge really is, you stop chasing miracles and start respecting the math. And that's the right way to think about card counting, not as a magic weapon, but as a lens, one that shows you how close the game can get to fair and how quickly the casino moves to keep it that way.
And that wraps up today's video. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps the channel out and tells YouTube this is content worth sharing. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another strategy breakdown, game walkthrough, or insider tip. We've got tons of guides coming your way, and you'll want to be here when they drop.
And hey, tell me in the comments what you want to see next. Whether it's roulette strategies, blackjack tips, slot myths, virtual casino breakdowns, whatever you're curious about, let me know. Your ideas shape what we create.
Before you go, if you're serious about leveling up your casino knowledge, you have to check out the Ultimate Casino Guide. I put everything I've learned into one massive, easy-to-read resource designed to make you a smarter, more confident, more prepared player. If you've ever wondered which games actually give you the best odds, how do pros manage their bankroll so they don't blow it all in an hour, what tricks casinos use, both physical and digital, to influence your decisions, how to avoid the biggest money traps beginners fall into, then the Ultimate Casino Guide will change the way you play forever. It covers psychology, probability, strategy charts, real-world case studies, VR and online casino risks, loyalty program hacks, literally everything you need to walk into any casino and know exactly what you're doing. The link is right here on the end card. Click it and start transforming the way you play. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, play smart, and I'll see you in the next video.